Hey peeps, it's the day after chemo. I'm a little flushed, but I don't care. A little raggedy, whatever. So, I did a CT a little while ago, last month, and I posted the results, but I didn't post the story that goes with it. Because I usually go to like a private clinic and it's very fast, like Prairie Sky, I think it is. And I'm in and I'm out and it's very fast. I only have to fast for 2 hours beforehand and they're just quick and easy. But this last time I actually had to go to the hospital. My appointment got changed. I had to go to the hospital, which meant I had to fast for 6 hours. And whatever, I've gone to the hospital before for them. Usually it's no big deal either. But this time, when they went to do my IV, because at the hospital they always access my port, they've never had a problem. Never. But this time, the nurse was like, "Oh, you have a port. Oh, I'll just access that." I was like, "Great, great, got it already, ready to roll." See, all good. And she somehow couldn't. She had to jab me 3 times. She jabbed me, and couldn't get blood to come. Couldn't get it to work. And she's like, "Well, maybe the needle's just not long enough. Do you want to go again?" I was like, "You know what? Just go for the arm. Just do the IV in the arm." It's like, port's supposed to make it easy. So then I'm panicking. I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong with my port. They're like, "Well, did they flush it? Did they, do?" I was like, "They do everything. I just had this thing accessed on Monday. Like, this was Friday." I was like, "I just had it accessed like 3 days ago, 4 days ago, or it was fine." So whatever, she's like, I was like, what is the IV in the arm gonna feel like? But she had the touch when that, she hadn't even feel nothing. She's like, "Okay, you're in, you're ready to go." And I'm like, "Really?" Like that, I didn't even know she did it. So I don't know how, so it didn't feel that great. Felt a little bruised. Thank goodness I didn't have chemo the following Monday. Because it was my week off. Chemo, so I went to my next chemo round, and I thought, okay, they know what they're doing, it'll be fine. I always talk about how wonderful and fantastic my doctors and nurses are, but this one nurse is not a happy camper, at least not when it comes to me. They've been giving me my appointments kind of late, which means I run late and somebody always has to stay. So I came in, and she right away, you could tell, did not want to have to stay before I even started my treatment, because she was trying to give me, because I had like an hour's worth of pre-meds before I even started my chemo. And she's like, "Okay, we're going to give you a couple that are just a pill to pop." And I was like, no, that doesn't agree with me, because I've done these oral things before. And she's like, "Well, one is an anti-nausea." And I was like, it's not as effective. It just doesn't. The one drug, when I take it orally, actually makes me nauseous, and then I need an IV anti-nauseant to get it to calm down. Like, that's how bad it is. I was like, no, I just stick to my regular routine. And from that second, she wasn't happy with me. She was very short and very not pleased. So then she comes to set up my IV, and I'm always good. I always have my hair out of the way. I'm always pulling my shirt down, ready to go, but I just wasn't doing it fast enough for her. "Could you pull your shirt down, please? Could you move your hand, please? I need to get leverage. Could you move your hand higher?" And I was like, who's having the worst day here? Like, out of the two of us. But whatever, I don't hold grudges. I try to be nice and calm and whatever, but it's like, bedside manner is a big deal in the cancer clinic. It took her 2 tries. She jabbed me, and it wouldn't go in. And she's like, "I need a new needle," because I couldn't pierce her skin. I was like, my skin isn't the problem. So whatever, she finally does get it in. She took her only 2 tries. Second as she got it in, but I think she turned it when it went in. Anyway, I went through my treatment. It was fine. But when she was the one who had to pull it out. So she goes to pull it out, and she pulled it straight out, but whatever she did made a hole. and I poured. Like I bled and I bled like a lot. And she's like, oh, are you on blood thinners? It's like, no. She's like, well, we usually only the only people that bleed like this are people on blood thinners. I was like, well, I'm not. And I had to hold it there. And then she was like upset that it wouldn't stop. And then finally she just did a piss poor tape job and taped this giant piece of gauze, and it wouldn't even stay because the tape was all twisted. She's like, there you go, you're good to go. I was like, but I had to like walk out of the hospital like this, holding pressure. And then it bruised, like bad bruised. Like it hurt almost as bad as it did when I had my port put in. Like that's how bad it bruised. And it was like yellow all the way around. Like it was still bruised when I went for my next round a week later. Like, yeah. It was a little bit traumatizing because my port is supposed to make my life easier. And this is the first time I've had a stretch of nurses that didn't know how to handle it or didn't care enough to be careful with it. Like I know it's a port and it's easier, but you still have to be gentle and still, like it's still live tissue there. It's still, you're going through into my body. Like you still have to be careful and gentle with it. It's not a toy. Like, yeah. So that's my experience. Normally it's really good. That's it for my traumatic story, peeps.